Okay, we back with section 2 from unit 2. Again, this is going to be kind of like an overview before we really start looking at the specific countries we're going to focus on studying in post-World War II Latin America. We're going to look at some political and economic ideologies which will have an impact. So we're going to start first with, and again, the overview is we're going to look at the obviously you can see the terms here: capitalism, Marxism, democracy, communism, and socialism, and try to give good general overviews as, of course, these political and economic ideas are going to have the biggest impact on the Cold War. So first of all, we're going to look at what capitalism is, and basically, it's when the trade and industry is controlled by private owners rather than the state. And of course, the main motivation in capitalism is going to be profit, the push for profit. So we want to remember that as we look at some of these Latin American nations. Again, this section will also have a variety of videos you can watch. So going hand in hand with capitalism, we're going to have democracy. And when we talk about democracy, it's really basically in its rawest definition, it's power that comes from the people or rule by the people. So the textbook definition: a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of the state, ruled through elected representatives. We're going to see that most nations don't have pure democracy where everybody votes on every issue. By democracy in this class, we're going to mean when people vote for representatives who will then make decisions for the country. A representative democracy is basically what we have in the United States and what we'll see in many Latin American nations also. So again, capitalism and democracy hand in hand, and the focus really is on the individual in those cases. Again, next we're going to look at communism and socialism. I have some good videos here on communism and socialism. Take a chance to look at those, please. So if you want to look at communism and socialism, you got to go back to the beginning with Karl Marx and in the mid-1800s. Marx, pictured there on the right, of course, along with Friedrich Engels, their theories form what later will become known as communism. And their big push is going to be that class structures had to be overthrown. And by class structures, we could say rich and poor in general, nobles, peasantry, along those lines, like that you were in a class and you were exploited. The lower classes were exploited. And Marx and Engels are going to believe that if it takes revolution and it takes blood, then it will happen. And that the ultimate goal will be that workers will unite and will overthrow the industrialists or the wealthy. So the big political theory that comes out of Marx is going to be communism, and which we're going to have to just make the blanket statement that really communism has never been put in place 100%. If that was the case, all property would be publicly owned by the government. And what would happen is each person would be paid the same or according to their needs. Basically, you're only going to get paid what you need. So in terms of implementing communism in a country, say like Russia / Soviet Union or Cuba or the Iron Curtain countries, they really weren't 100% communist, but there was a lot of government control, and that's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see. So really, when we're going to see more socialism, which means that the means of production and the distribution, that's going to be controlled by the government. And the one of the key things, if you remember what I said about democracy and capitalism, is that it really the worth is on the individual. We're going to see in socialism, society is going to be more of the focus than the individual. Again, equality is going to be key. The socialism definitely going to happen during progressive waves in history, and really it's good that the purpose is that we are working for the good of all and not the individual. So socialist societies is going to be more prevalent in those communist countries, even though they're going to be labeled as communist countries. Now, the last form of government, and this is going to be a key in Latin America, is the military dictatorship. Oftentimes, we see this word called junta or junta down the bottom, down there in red, where it's a group of military leaders who seize control of a country, and they select one of themselves as the leader. And of course, having the military is going to place a lot of control over, be able to control the people and over political authority. And so when we look at many Latin American countries, we're going to see that they are military dictatorships. And if you see that map right there, you can see some of the countries, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina, and so forth. We're not going to hit them all, but we're going to try to hit a couple of them. Okay, so that's it for section 2. Again, sections 1 and 2 were general overviews of government in Latin America. We're going to look at some of the specific ones as we move on, sections 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so thank you very much. And that will be it for section 2. We will see you next time.